He was born in an extremely impoverished area of the Congo. No water, no electricity. He learned of the United States and later legally immigrated to the United States, arrived in California, and after a few years of total determination, he received his doctorate degree, and now his vision is to return to the Congo to give others the hope he is experiencing. You've got to listen to Dr. Sebahizi, a great story. Hi there, and thank you for joining us on the Overcomers Overcoming podcast. We feature those who are in the process of overcoming or have overcome any type of life encounter, life obstacle that at the time seemed to be almost insurmountable. With this podcast, we have three objectives in mind. Our first objective is we want you to know with a confident resolve you are not alone. We want to work with you. We want you to know there are others who are working with you, who want to help you through whatever you are encountering, and together we will get through whatever you're experiencing.
Our second objective is there are multiple options for any life encounter you are facing. We want to help you develop a resolve that there are various options and solutions to any life dilemma.
Our third objective is to help you with critical thinking skills. If you're encountering something that was possibly a decision you made sometime in the past, and if you had the opportunity for a life redo, you would make a different decision. We want to help you with those critical thinking skills that can help you make an informed decision and not encounter what you're going through at the moment. We are the Cooper Culture, a veteran-owned business. We work with business personnel and families to develop and sustain connected relationship cultures within their families and organizations. That type organization is one where people feel wanted, appreciated, and genuinely a part of that organization. I'm with my wife and business partner, Marty, who is helping me facilitate this podcast. Today we feature Dr. Fidele Sebahizi, one of the most amazing life stories we have heard in our podcasting. He tells us about coming from a very remote place in the Congo jungle, no water, electricity. It is the most life-depressing situation a person can be in, but he learned about the United States and came to San Diego as a refugee, and he has made a great life for himself. You will learn from him his determined attitude that he will excel. While being in the United States, he has gotten his doctorate degree and he is moving on. Marty, it's a great story. What can our listeners take away from Dr. Sebahizi?
He has an amazing story, and you would think when you hear his story, you would think he wouldn't have the positive attitude he has when he's gone from living in what we would consider horrible conditions. They knew nothing else. And then going to a refugees camp, seeing what he saw there, and escaping that and coming to America, no money. He did have some help from other organizations that help refugees, but his attitude and going back to school and getting a doctorate. And he has the best personality, and he wants to help people, and he wants to go back to his own country and help them have a better life.
Through his faith in God, he set aside all excuses and he moved on. What an incredible story. Let's listen and learn together. Dr. Fidele Sebahizi, great to have you with us. Our listeners are going to be very intrigued with your story of where you have come from, Africa, small village. You had to escape alive because it was a war-torn area, and you've come to the United States and you have overcome a lot of adversity to get to where you are. Congratulations. It's great to have you. Dr. Sebahizi, our listeners will be very interested in learning your story, your background, and how did you do all of this? Welcome aboard.
Thanks so much, sir, for having me.
Start us from the beginning, as far back as you want, but you were, if I understand correctly, raised in a very small mountainous village, and it was a war-torn area, and you didn't even have electricity and running water, if I'm understanding correctly.
That is correct. I was born in a small, I call it poor village because it was poor. That's how it was. With no electricity, no roads, no yeah, of course, if you don't have electricity, you don't have TV, you don't have fridge. We didn't have uh any advancements, or advanced technologies that we see today or even in the past. So I grew up in that village. Even laundry, we had to do laundry in a river. So everything was done manually. So I spent about 12 years in that village. In 1996, that's when we had what we call the first Congo War. And it started as a revolutionary war, but it turned out that it was, but even before the war started, because my tribe, my ethnic community called the Banyamulenge, was being prosecuted, was being discriminated against. So that's how the war started. We ended up fleeing the village. We moved to a nearby city, still in the Congo. It's called Uvira. So we stay there. My family stayed there for about 8 years. So even within the 8 years, we went through a lot, like small battles here and there. In 2004, it was our time, my family time, and with other tribal families, we escaped. We fled from the Congo and we went to Burundi. It's a neighboring country. And we went into a refugee camp, a United Nations a refugee camp called Gatumba in Burundi. It was at the border with the Congo, so within a few miles from the Congo. So we stayed there for about 2 months, and the armed people who made us flee our country, they attacked us in that refugee camp. They did whatever they wanted to do, killing, burning people alive for 2 hours, and ending up killing 166 refugees. So I was one of the fortunate refugees who escaped that attack. That's how I came to the United States. I didn't apply for a visa. Nobody within our group applied for the visa. So we found out that somebody had started the process to bring us to the Western nations, not only in the United States, but to other countries like Canada, Europe countries. That's how I ended up in San Diego, California in 2007.
So at the time your visa was being processed, I'm assuming you didn't know a lot about the United States. You just knew, hey, I'm leaving here. That's the thing you wanted to do most.
I remember in my history class, I think history or geography class, I learned about Mississippi River, but I didn't know where. I think I didn't know where Mississippi was. So at the time, it was just a class. It was just a lesson, a history lesson. So I didn't know about the United States, but I heard that we were going to the United States, and I was like, yeah, I think I guess that is a great country. So
Now, when you arrived in San Diego, were you accepted? Did the people just say, welcome aboard? It's good to have you with us? Or did you feel that there was some amount of separation? People did not accept you, anything like that?
I felt disconnected culturally, but people welcomed me because so refugees, when they come to the United States, there are refugee agencies that are assigned to welcome refugees. So I went through that process, but I felt welcomed by the general population in San Diego. Very friendly people that somebody who had just escaped the attack in a refugee camp, or who grew up in a rough environment, rough life or livelihood, how it got, prosecuted by our own government and our fellow citizens. So I felt very welcome in San Diego.
No, that is good to know.
Yes.
Now, some of the things that I think about is you can't exist very long without food. You have to have shelter, a
Right.
house,
Right.
somewhere to live. Was all that taken care of pretty much right away?
Oh, yes. That was provided to us upon our arrival. So we had, you know, again, I think every beginning is rough. You don't get what you want. You don't get what you feel like you need, but you get something. You get a shelter. You get food. Even transportation, stuff like that. So yeah.
All right. So were you in did the U.S. Embassy or was it the California government, the federal government? Do you remember who actually took care of you, that brought you in and helped provide you with the money and job and so forth until you're able to get established on your own?
So yeah, as I said, refugees don't see government right away. Like they don't see, representatives of the government, local, state, or federal. Everything is done through like a resettlement agency. So that's how we get the money from the government. So the government sends the money to those agencies, and those agencies give us money. That's how refugees get here first, and that's how they get taken care of.
Now, let me ask you about that part. As you are likely very aware, some people who get to start like you did, the government pays your way. Some people become totally dependent on the government. I don't have to work and I'm willing to live even a very substandard life, but the money is coming in from the government. I'm going to believe, doctor, you did not want that life. You were not going to live that way at all.
No, I left that way of living way early, because so what happened was I was given 8 months of assistance. So within the 8 month period, I that's when I went to school. That's when I started English as a second language classes, computer classes, pronunciation classes, reading classes, writing classes, just to make sure that at the end of the 8 month period, I wanted to make sure that I was able to stand on my own feet and go to work and start my life on my own. So after 8 months, I was not expecting to get any more aid from the government. So that's how it worked out.
All right. Thinking back, do you know approximately how many other refugees came with you? And I have a reason for asking you that.
So within our group from that refugee camp, all survivors, I think we were over 1,000, I think.
All right. Now I'm curious, of the approximately 1,000 that came with you, how many would you guess did what you did, became as successful as you have been? You have a doctorate degree, you went through school, you found employment. What I'm hearing from you, what I'm sensing is you had the attitude, I will do whatever I have to do to make it in the United States.
Oh yeah, that's right. I became the first survivor to obtain a doctorate degree. So the first one within our group got her doctorate degree probably 2 years ago. So I became the second one to get that degree. And I became the first one to become a police officer in the United States. So I was like, no, I need to step up. I need to do something that, yeah, my focus was to do or to go beyond everything that was possible, because I was like, I'm being given all these opportunities. I need to make sure that I do my best.
I love your attitude. Now, I'm going to ask you, of the maybe 1,000 or so, would you say that you are very characteristic of the other 999, or were there some that did not have the attitude you have and they are a lot less than what you are? I'm just very curious.
I would say so. So when refugees get to the United States, they tend to get stuck with just being you know on the bottom level of life. They tend just to go to uh, do just the basics. Cleaning jobs. They move from company to company. Just doing the same thing, and because of a lot of obstacles like cultural, language wise, like they don't, I don't know if I would say they don't have a chance, or they don't push themselves to learn and get out of that situation, but they tend to get stuck there. And yeah, they stay for forever, for many years. So
I'm going to guess there were not very many. You are a part of a very small minority who have the desire to exceed. You will overcome anything, any challenge that's presented to you, and you may be a part of the top 2%. That's what I'm guessing, Doctor.
yes, sir.
Well, congratulations.
I want to ask, did you speak any English when you came?
I did not. So when I first
That's amazing.
yeah, when I first started ESL classes in San Diego, I was in the same class with my dad, and my dad is now 80. So I was in the same class with him, starting with A, B, C, D. So after like 1 month, they moved me from that class. They were like, "Oh, yeah, you know, your learning skills. It's not for you to stay here in this first, degree. I mean, first level. So you need to move up." So that's how I started moving up, in classes.
So, how many years was it from when you arrived in San Diego as a refugee until you became employed in the Abilene Police Department?
So as I said, I came to San Diego, California in 2007. I stayed there for 8 years. In 2015, that's when I moved to Abilene, Texas. And in 2017, that's when I joined the Abilene Police Department. Until now, I'm still employed as a police officer here.
So, while you were in San Diego for that almost 8 year period, you saved money, you did whatever you had to do to be able to have the money to move to Abilene. That's what I'm believing you did. Is that pretty much correct?
Yeah, I moved to Abilene on my own, so I didn't need any assistance from anybody else. But I was lucky in San Diego to attend college. They're for free, so I didn't pay for anything while I was in San Diego,
All right.
just
You,
through the
you,
government program. Yes.
all right. But you are a very gifted person that you learn quickly, you can adapt well. You've taken advantage of that to have a doctorate degree. And I think a part of this podcast, Doctor, is that you are an inspiration to other people, having come from a very difficult situation as a refugee, a war-torn area, and you took advantage of every opportunity in a very positive way of what you were given, and you had the determination. I believe that as a mindset. You had the determination
Yes,
that
sir.
you will achieve, and others who choose to do what you did can follow the path that you have inspired others to take, but some others made the decision that no, I don't want to, I can't, or something. I'm reading into this a very positive of who you are, Doctor.
Yes, sir. I have received some positive feedback about me inspiring others to step up and do you know just get out of areas that they don't want to be. For example, I have a friend who is a survivor as well. Last time he told me that he went back to school just because he saw me, finishing degrees, degree after degree after degree, and then he decided, he was like, guess what? This is my time to go back to school. So now he's in school.
For you, is learning in the school environment, is that easy for you, or do you even today have to study a little bit harder than some people?
I don't think so. I love school. I love studying. I remember back in San Diego, I was in an English class, and I was approached by I'm American born child, student. So he was like, why do you, why your essays look fantastic compared to ours? We were born here. English is our first language. How do you do that? I was like, I don't know. I didn't know anything to tell him. I was like, maybe it's a talent, it's a gift, maybe it's a God-given gift. I don't know.
Well, I admire you for everything that you represent. And what is life now for you? You're no longer in the Abilene Police Department, is that correct?
I'm still employed as Abilene Police Department officer now.
All right.
So because I just obtained my PhD degree in May this year. So I studied. So I got my bachelor's degree, master's degree, and PhD degree while employed as Abilene Police Department as Abilene Police Officer in Abilene. So I did all my schooling while serving the Abilene community as a police officer. So I haven't moved out yet. I haven't, I'm still employed here as a police officer. So I'm still doing the same thing. I haven't switched it to anything yet.
I want to know, how did you learn about Liberty University?
I did it online. I went online, I Googled it, and I was looking for online PhD programs and in criminal justice, and that popped up, and I applied. And because he has 25% discount for law enforcement. So I was like, yeah, I gotta, take advantage of that.
But I'm believing in you. One of your attributes is one of many, is that I'm thinking back to where you used to be. No electricity, of course, no computers, no internet, nothing like that. You were born with an inherent inquisitive nature that no matter what it is, I'm going to learn more about it. I will sit here, I'll study it, I'll learn, I'll figure it out somehow, some way. Does that pretty well describe who you are?
That is true. That is true. I did some assessments, maybe like character assessments, like how you take some assessments, find out who you are and why you like, Yeah. So one of my characteristics, or I don't know how to call that. So it's learning.
Yes.
I'm just a learner. I'm somebody who wants to learn new things. I don't get tired learning. I like to learn.
Yep, that's a very positive attribute. I can sense that very clearly in you. And your PhD is in criminal justice. And I'm going to believe that you are the type of person, you have the mindset, no matter what you've done, I will learn, I will find you. And is that a part of who you are?
Yes, that is correct. I have been told by many family members when I was going to school, they were they were tired of me. I was like, why are you tired of me when I'm not tired? I'm still into this, still learning. But they kept asking, why, you're still going to school. You haven't finished yet? What's going on, man? I was like, no. And then they waited, for a few years, and I will send them like a a picture of my graduation day. They'll be surprised. They're like, oh, you got a degree. And they waited again, a few hours. I mean, a few months. I mean, a few hours. I'm sorry, few years. They'll see another degree coming up. I was like, yeah, I'm still into this. I'm still learning. There's one time my sister told me, like, are you still going to school? I was like, yes. And then I asked her, I was like, are you tired of me going to school for so long? And she was like, man, you started school when you were back home in our village up to now. I was like, yes, I'm still alive. I'm still alive. I did keep learning. So
But I tell you that is one of your very positive attributes from my perspective. You have a hunger to learn, and there's nothing that will keep you from learning. You are a very focused, determined person. That's my perception.
And I want to ask, how did you learn to like country music? We love country music. And so
okay.
that is so different because nowadays I don't think country music is as popular as when we were younger. But what attracted you to country music?
Yeah, even my oldest daughter gets surprised when, she got surprised when she first learned about me loving country music. I was like, because I'm not being racist, but when I say that I love country music, because they see country music as music for white people, you
Uh-huh.
know. And I've like, so I grew up listening to country type music, our traditional uh, religious songs were in country music. So
Mhm.
so I grew up singing or hearing those songs. So that's how I became a country music lover.
What is the future for you, Dr. Sebahizi? As you are, and I'm going to believe you are probably the kind of person you're always looking 5, 10 years in advance. What can I do? And what do you see you doing maybe 5, 10 years sometime into the future?
So my goal, my long-term goal, is to go back home and fix things. That's my ultimate goal. So I will do, you know, things here and there in the United States, maybe to get, more experience. Uh, I like doing research. I hope, I mean, I plan to do more research on different topics, but my ultimate goal within maybe like let's say in 20 years, I see myself back home fixing things.
All right. So
When
what?
I mean fixing things, to get things in the right order.
Yes, you are. Your vision is to rebuild Burundi, if I pronounced that correctly, but
No,
rebuild
Congo, Congo.
The Congo. You
Yes,
want to make the help. You want to be a catalyst to help rebuild and make the Congo an affluent part of Africa.
that's right. That's right.
I will tell you, Doctor, I am looking forward to seeing you do that because, again, I see a determination in you that you are going to determine exactly how to do that. And do you picture yourself being an elected official, being the prime minister of an area in Africa?
So I don't know what the future uh, holds for me, but my hope is to go back and make Congo a better place. compared to how I left it, or compared to how it is right now. Even right now, uh, the war is still going on. The war has been going on for decades.
Yes.
Has not stopped. So I don't know what I'll be when I go back, but I just need to. I just want to find myself back there and help make the country better.
And you know, doctor, I know there are a lot of people who could say this life, the life back in the Congo, that's all I've ever known. So I don't know any different. I have no idea what it is to have running water, electricity, any money. That's all I've ever known. So I don't even know that there's anything better. I can picture you saying, no, we can change the culture to where we are no longer at war with each other. And oh, by the way, there are a lot of different things we can, who knows, we can improve the area agriculturally, whatever it is, to bring
Yes.
money into the area. You can live an affluent life. I am going to be, Dr. Sebahizi, am going to be a part of that influence to help you show a better way of life. That's what I see you doing.
That's what I see myself doing as well.
Wow. That is, I admire people like you, doctor, who have come from, I mean, it's far less than humble beginnings. I mean, you could have proclaimed yourself to be a victim of, and I will tell you that no, you're a victor over, and you've made such a good life for yourself, and you want to pass it on and help others become even better. That is such an admirable quality. Our listeners need to hear that kind of inspiration from you. That one of my objectives, our objectives in this podcast series, is through people like you, we can inspire others to do even more. Doctor, you are a great inspiration.
Yes, sir. That is right. So telling stories, orally, it can be a challenge, and you don't spread your message as far as you want. So that's why I decided to write a book. It's a memoir. It's called "Creating a Life from the Ashes." It just came out about a month ago. So it is full of inspirational stories from my village to Abilene, Texas.
So, is your book available right now through Amazon and other places that sell books?
Yes, it is. It is available right now through Amazon and through Ingram Spark for wholesale distribution. Yes.
Creating a Life from the Ashes.
Yes.
Doctor, we want to help promote that book. We want to inspire others to get through the ashes of life.
Yes,
And
sir.
you are that inspiration that you just, I'm going to guess you would say there's nothing so bad, no valley so deep that with enough inspiration, with enough willpower, you can make something positive out of even something extremely negative. Is that one of your messages?
That is right. So my philosophy is not to run away from struggles, but to stand in front of struggles head on and challenge the challenges instead of running from the challenges. That's my philosophy, and that works wonders.
So another way of saying what you said is just look toward and go toward the struggles, and you will overcome. Now, I'm curious, did you have other people that helped inspire you, mentor you, anything like that as you were going through this journey?
Uh, I don't think so. All this, all the credit goes back to God. I'm a believer in Jesus Christ, so that's my mentor. That's my guide. So he did all this.
Thank you for giving Jesus Christ, our Lord and Savior, the credit for what you're able to endure. Is faith in the Lord something that is very prevalent in your former village, or are you one of the very few that had to come from to become a believer?
No, I'm not the first one. I'm not even among the few. Generally, my tribe is, even the Congo, the entire Congo. It has more believers than unbelievers. So we believe in Jesus Christ. We grew up singing church songs. That's where I mentioned, country music type songs. So we grew up in that religious culture, if you can say that. Yes.
No, that is good to know, because I know there are some areas of Africa that to even express your faith, uh, you could be ostracized, or even maybe
Hated.
even
Yes.
killed for that.
Yeah. Yeah. That happens a lot. I think it happens in within the Muslim communities. That's where it happened. And in the Congo, we had a very few Muslim community.
Doctor, on behalf of our listeners, I want to thank you for the life that you have led, you are leading, and we want to be a part of continuing this dialogue to see just what a great influence you're going to be on the Congo, to other people in the United States. You're just a great inspiration of having overcome a very difficult past. But again, one of the admirable things I can hear you saying, nothing is going to keep you from achieving the greater good, because God has and will continue to empower you.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. Thanks so much for having me, all of you. So it is my pleasure and honor.
Thank you, Doctor. We look forward to continuing our dialogue.
Thanks so much.
We appreciate having the opportunity to share our and our guests' life's experiences with you.
The Cooper Culture advances organizations to achieve and sustain high retention rates, connected communication, and trust through personality insights and principled leadership. You can contact us at our website, thecooperculture.com, and you can contact us directly at ron@thecooperculture.com or Marty, Marty, at thecooperculture.com. We work with you to help assess aspects of your culture to advance the environment and people to their best performance. We do that through our staff of certified personal performance coaches, leadership trainers, keynote speakers, and disc personality behavior experts. You can book a speaking engagement directly through our website by contacting us at ron@thecooperculture.com. We look forward to sharing our life experiences with you, some of which are profound, some of which are pretty funny. Some of those life experiences are ones we'll never do that again, because we've been through stuff. We truly look forward to working with you, speaking with you, helping advance you in any way that we can.